I do not. All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to today's town board meeting on Monday, February 2nd. We have no in memory, we have no invocation this evening, but we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask everybody to rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, with that, I would ask the town clerk to call the roll.
Supervisor Lavin. Deputy Supervisor Marinucci. Councilmember Zucala.
Here.
Councilmember Davis. Councilmember Kavanaugh.
Present. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from Tuesday, January 20th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So we have a couple of announcements today. We have the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station Air Show event presentation between Senior Master Sergeant Andrew Kaya. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay. Before we give you gentlemen the podium, there are two announcements that I want the community to know about. The first is tomorrow is an election day. Anybody in the town of Amherst is encouraged to participate in democracy. The polls open is at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. tomorrow until 9 p.m. If you have questions about what your ballot looks like or your voting location is, you can go to the Erie County Board of Elections to determine who's on the ballot and where your polling location will be. I'd encourage everybody to take part in that. The final public information session for the accessory dwelling unit, the ADU pilot program, will be held Thursday, February 5th at 6 p.m. right here in the council chambers. If you want, that's on our website as well, and we encourage you to take part in that. Councilmember Zukawa has it under his councilmember presentation. We already voted on in consent, but the Skate with a Cop is Sunday, February 22nd from 12:10 p.m. until 1:50 p.m. at the Northtown Center. The Amherst Police annually host this event. It's always a good turnout. I think it's their 4th year doing it. I encourage anybody to take part in that. And with that, I will ask members from the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station to come on up. I already told you, I'm sorry, I don't think the audio is working that well, but the podium is yours, gentlemen.
Thank you for hosting us. I appreciate the time. We can tee up the video without audio, or I can speak, or I can speak during the video. We can make it efficient that way. So has anyone been to an air show? Has anyone been to one of our air shows at Niagara Falls? Okay, great. We had an air show in the area in 2021, just after the peak of COVID. You may remember that. The air show that we're hosting this summer, which is June 20th, June 21st, is going to be back on the installation. It'll be a formal, what we call open house. It's the only time that you'll be able to come onto the installation. We don't check for federal government ID cards. We just ask that you abide by, no firearms and no bringing anything of weaponry into that sort. There's certain stipulations, but otherwise it's a free event for the public to come onto the installation and to enjoy various types of acts, military, civilian. We've got Coast Guard, we'll have Navy, we'll have Army, obviously Air Force. Our headline act for the show this year is the United States Air Force's premier jet team, the Thunderbirds. We are fortunate to also include the Canadians' premier jet team, the Snowbirds. There are very few shows in the world that get to feature 2 headline acts, and us here in Niagara, since we haven't had a show since 2018, we're fortunate to be able to claim 2 headline acts for the 2nd time, actually. And so we're looking forward to that. It's a homegrown show, if you will, because the base is largely comprised of reservists like myself. I spend part of my time wearing the uniform, as does Supervisor Lavin, and I spend part of my time wearing a FedEx uniform as a FedEx pilot. And we are very proud of the fact that our installation features many people from the community who work in the community doing any such thing, supervisor, lawyers, doctors, policemen, and then also on the weekends, a couple times throughout the year, also work on the installation. And so because we have that hometown flavor, we also look for opportunities for support for the show. And this is where I have to be careful because Lieutenant Colonel Abels doesn't solicit for support from the show. But if there are people who want to get out, who want to get in touch with us, want to volunteer to help in a certain way or to support the show, we have an organization that can help us do that legally and properly. And that organization is the Niagara Military Affairs Council. The president is here with us tonight. His name's Mike Zimmerman. He's a veteran of the Air Force himself. He served in Niagara Falls. And now he represents the head of the organization that acts as a liaison between our installation and the greater community. So when we have senators or politicians that come to the installation, talk about funding for new projects, or when they solicit support for projects that we need, NIMAC is what helped our installation remain open, if you remember during the 90s, the BRAC Commission, when they were shutting down a lot of military installations. It's got nothing to do with the air show. It's just a long-winded way of saying that we're going to have an exciting show this summer. It's June 20th, June 21st, which is it's also Father's Day weekend. It's the 250th celebration of our country, so there's a lot of good reasons to come out. And I don't know if there's an appropriate place to leave a stack of cards if people had questions or wanted to reach out to me directly. If I didn't say it, I'm remiss. I'm the director of the air show. And I also have our public affairs, Drew Kea. And lastly, I'm a homegrown Williamsville product. I went to high school down the road at Williamsville South. I graduated in 2004. So again, I'm flattered for the opportunity to come here and talk to you guys. The last time I was in this building, I was telling Mike I was getting my marriage license squared away. So it's been a while since I've been back here, but I'm very happy to be back, and I'm proud to represent this community specifically, my hometown, and we're looking forward to the show. I'll entertain any questions, but I know you guys got a couple agenda items to go, so I don't want to steal too much of your time.
So I would say to you, the decor hasn't changed since your marriage license. There's no doubt about that.
Looks familiar.
So Jessica in the back, if you give her your cards, she'll make sure we disperse them to the proper people.
Okay.
I have been a part of the air show in 2018, not part of it, but I attended it. It's amazing. Anybody who can attend, find a way to get there. It's truly amazing to watch all the planes. You almost don't realize how big some of those things are until you take part in it. So we really appreciate you coming here. We'll do anything we can to promote this on June 20th, 21st, and I hope to see you there as well.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys coming. So we are going to move into our first resolution for this evening. That's Resolution 2026-72. It's the parking restriction on the east side of Caledine Ave between Oxford Ave and Long Meadow Road. Chris is presenting that. Chris, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Supervisor Lavin. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Chris Schregel. I work at the engineering department and act as the traffic safety coordinator. As the supervisor said, the first public hearing tonight is in reference to a parking restriction on the east side of Caledine Avenue between Oxford and Long Meadow for all days, all hours. The request came from, first off, Caladine's located in Eggertsville, southwest corner of the town. The request came from a Caledine resident who resides between Fremont and Long Meadow, and that's the very northern block of Caledine. The request was reviewed on multiple occasions by the Amherst Traffic Safety Board, first in August, then in September, and then in October of 2025. The original request focused on that same block where the resident resides, which is between Long Meadow and Fremont. That section of Caledine has two-sided parking available. According to the resident, this causes safety and access issues, and therefore he requested the west side be restricted. Important to note that his request is the west, and on the resolution tonight it's on the east. The Traffic Safety Board reviewed this, and as part of its review, evaluated the roadway widths reviewed existing parking restrictions on the entirety of Caledine. They looked at parking demand and adjacent land use, went out and actually sent surveys and letters to residents who were impacted, and then also discussed corridor consistency before making its final recommendation to this board. This is a photograph looking north on Caledine between Fremont and Longmeadow. This is showing you three things. One, that two-sided parking is available, as you can see on that picture. There's different land uses, difficult to tell on this photo, but on the west side, it is single-family homes, and on the east side, there are primarily duplexes. Furthermore, in that yellow box is the indication of a hydrant that plays into the recommendation that I'll go through in later slides, but again, the east side has the hydrants. As part of its review, they looked at roadway widths and the geometry. This is a straight road between Longmeadow and Main Street. It's residential. It's signed as 30 miles per hour. And as you can tell, it's made up of 5 blocks. The 2 northern blocks are 28 feet wide, and the southern 3 blocks are 26 feet wide. When you overlay that on top of the existing parking restrictions, you can see that the northern blocks that are wider do not have any restrictions at all, while those that are at the width of 26 feet wide currently have an east side restriction. Upon review, the Traffic Safety Board didn't want to be in a scenario where there was inconsistency with parking restrictions, nor did they want to leave a block unreviewed, so they expanded that original request to include between Longmeadow and Oxford, to include those northern 2 blocks. Those southern blocks already have a parking restriction on the east side. So for consistency's sake, and the fact that there's hydrants that are on the east side, they recommended that an east side restriction move forward. As part of that, a survey was sent to all those impacted residents on both sides between Oxford and Longmeadow, simply stating, are you in favor, yes or no, with additional comments allowed. The results are majorly in favor of a restriction, with 10 being in support and 4 being opposed. Only 14 responses were received. It is important to note that one of the opposition votes was from the original resident who initially wanted the west side restricted in front of his house. He said he saw a notable improvement from the parking situation when he first attended the Traffic Safety Board. So that is one he reached out prior to this meeting and asked that I voice that. Ultimately, the Traffic Safety Board looked at the overall consistency, looked at the hydrant side, and looked at the majority of support in support of the restriction on the east side, and therefore that recommendation and that resolution before you tonight is for a east side restriction between Fremont and Longmeadow for a distance of 1,975 feet for all hours, all days. With that, I'll open it up for questions and comments.
Chris, really appreciate the presentation. You got a lot of the information that the board requires for that. I have no questions at this time, but I will ask anybody from the board who has questions regarding this parking restriction request. Anybody from the board? No issues. Any issues from any residents in the chambers who have questions regarding this parking restriction request? Okay. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for Resolution 2026-72. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll make a motion to adopt the parking restriction on east side of Caledine Ave, Resolution 2026-72.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So I will move on to Resolution 2026-73. I'll make a motion to open that resolution public hearing this evening. All in favor?
Aye.
Chris, the floor is yours.
All right, the second public hearing is also another parking restriction, this time on Heim Road at the intersection of South Wedge Drive. This is for a restriction on, again, the south side of Heim at South Wedge, both the east and west side for a distance of 100 feet. I'll explain in future slides. So this one came before the Traffic Safety Board via a Randwood Drive resident, which is off South Wedge. It was reviewed by the Traffic Safety Board at its October meeting. Heim Road is between North Forest and Dodge. and southwest, and it's located essentially in the center of Amherst. The resident concerns and request is that vehicles are parking along Heim near South Wedge Drive, whereby providing, giving some difficulty from drivers who are turning out of South Wedge onto Heim, blocking the visibility of those drivers who are trying to get out onto Heim. The request is simple, no parking on both sides of the intersection to improve sight distance. The Traffic Safety Board reviewed, they conducted their own review and confirmed that parking is occurring. This is a photo taken from South Wedge, looking to the right in the northeast direction, showing that that parking is right up against that road and making it difficult to go in as well as going out, more so going out. Looking the other direction, moving your head to the left in the southwest direction, that same parking is occurring. So the Traffic Safety Board looked at this and is recommending a 100-foot restriction for all days, all hours, flanking that South Wedge Drive side street in the location as shown on red on your screen, again at 100 feet from the curb line of South Wedge. I won't read the the resolution. I think it's pretty clear. I'll open it up for questions and comments.
Chris, again, thank you very much for that presentation. I have no questions at this time. Anybody from this board have any questions for Chris regarding this resolution? None? Anybody from the audience this evening have any questions for Chris regarding this resolution? Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion to close public hearing 2026-73.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll make a motion to adopt the parking restriction on Heim Road at South Wedge Drive, Resolution 2026-73.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we're moving on to Resolution 2026-74. It's the Miller's Crossing stop sign installation for our third public hearing this evening. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing 2026-74.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chris, the floor is yours.
Sure. This last public hearing of mine comes before you in reference to Miller's Crossing stop sign installation. Miller's Crossing is a new subdivision, and it reads that the T intersection of Autumn Meadows Lane and Stream Sun Court is hereby designated as a stop-controlled intersection, and a stop sign shall be installed at the northwest corner, oriented to stop the southbound approach. So this is a plat map of Miller's Crossing, and we are now in the third phase of that new subdivision. Whenever a new subdivision goes in, traffic control has to be approved by this town board. So right now, currently, this is under development. It has not yet been dedicated, but in anticipation of that dedication, we want to make sure that we're able to sign the proper traffic control at that intersection. And in the opinion and at the recommendation of the Traffic Safety Board, they're recommending that this T intersection of Autumn Meadows and Stream Song be stopped with a single stop sign to stop the southbound direction. This is fairly typical in new subdivisions to, when there's a T intersection, to stop the bottom leg of that T. And with that, I'll open it up for questions and comments.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Does anybody in this board have any questions regarding the stop sign installation for Miller's Crossing? Okay, I will open it up to the audience. Does anybody have any questions for Chris regarding the Miller's Crossing stop sign installation? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close Resolution 2026-74. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-74. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chris, thank you very much this evening. We appreciate you. Next resolution is Resolution 2026-103. It's 95 Snowberry rezoning. I'll make a motion to open that public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Tara Cadmus. I'm here for my brother, and I wanted to make sure that you guys received the slides he had sent over. Oh, we did not. Oh, we got something there. So this is a residential area. This is the one remaining lot that is not rezoned for a single-family housing. His proposal, which was passed by the planning board, was to purchase the lot, divide it into two, and he will be building a house for him and his family on Lot A, and he would like to sell Lot B. Is that the only slide that came over?
The file was too big for our
I
server.
thought that he had zipped it for you, but basically the other slides kind of just show an overhead shot that every other lot surrounding there is residential.
Okay.
Those are helpful.
So the request from you this evening, or from your brother, who's not here, is to rezone this parcel from SA to R3. Is
Yes,
that right?
that's correct.
Do you have anything further to present to this board?
No, I think it makes a lot of sense, given the character of the neighborhood and how it's developed over the last few years, and I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Okay. Any questions from this board? Cadmus, is that how it's pronounced, Ms. Cadmus? Any questions from Ms.
I have a
Cadmus?
quick question. So we're looking at the blue one or the one?
I
Yeah,
believe it's the blue one right
Okay,
there.
perfect. So I'm guesstimating, but I'm assuming all of these are slightly smaller than a half acre plot. So by subdividing it, it's not making it a much smaller plot than the rest of them.
Yeah, so it'll be comparable to everything else around it.
Yeah, I just saw that it was a full acre. I just want to make sure the subdivide, it looks like it will, but that was
Yeah.
my, thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's all for me. Thank you.
Does the board have any other questions regarding this possible rezoning? All right, being we're in a public hearing, I will open it up to anybody from the audience who has any questions for the rezoning for 95 Snowberry. Anybody to speak on Snowberry? Okay, I will make a motion to close the public hearing for Resolution 2026-103. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So Tara, in most circumstances, when it comes to a land use decision, we've most often waited till the next meeting to make that decision. So the public hearing is closed. I will make a motion to set a decision date for this public hearing on the 23rd of February of 2026,
All right,
and you'll have an answer for you by then.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, motion to make a decision date for February 23rd, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And Tara, you were on here for public expression. I'm going to take you off. Is that fair? Okay. So that concludes this evening's public hearings. We are now going to move directly into our consent. I'm sorry. We're going to move into public expression. The first round of public expression. I will say again, I'm going to continue to say this. The public expression from this perspective is not a question and answer back and forth between the residents or the members at the podium and this board. It's more of an opportunity for you to express to this board things and items that you feel passionate about that involve the town of Amherst. With that also being said, I'm going to ask for the respect from anybody who comes to speak at this podium. If you don't agree with somebody or you have a different opinion, that's fine, that's healthy, and that's encouraged. But you will be respectful to the people who speak at that podium. They have their 3 minutes to say whatever they feel is important to them, and it's important for the members of this dais to listen to what they have to say. So with that being said, I'll make a motion to open today's first round of public expression.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And our first speaker is Jane Cox.
Good evening. My name is Jane Cox. I live on Harlem Road. I've been attending town board meetings for more than 20 years. I want to speak about the proposed change to the town board rules of order. We sort of glided over them this afternoon, and I looked at the rules, the old rules and the new rules, and I found a lot of specific changes that I'd like to have addressed. The revised rules eliminate the 48-hour public notice requirement when you want to hold a special town board meeting. Town board meeting time of 7 p.m. would be eliminated from the rules. And I've noticed that 6 of this year's town board meetings are being held at 3 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 7 at night. In the conduct of meetings section, the section changes the agenda order to allow for the supervisor and council members to present reports and resolutions before the public expression and before public hearings. And I am firmly opposed to this change. I would like to retain the ability to add my comments to the town board to resolutions that they are voting on and have my public input and everybody else's in the room considered before you vote, not afterwards. The second public expression, which I advocated for years ago, has been totally eliminated, which cuts the time the public gets to speak. One public expression is 3 minutes. The one at the end is 3 minutes. I think we need both. Current town board rules require the agenda to be posted on the town website no later than 4 p.m. on Thursday prior to a town board meeting. The new rules say as soon as reasonably practical, which is vague at best and lends itself to late submission of agenda items, which gives us less time to review them before the Monday meetings. The suspension of rules, which the board does quite occasionally at the end of the meetings, I'm never going to have enough time. Has been changed that you don't have to indicate why time is of the essence in adding it to an agenda. The board rules for approval of personnel changed the requirement to have the names of employees, new employees, their title, and their salary costs published in the minutes of the meeting, and that's no longer required. Under decorum, public speakers may have to provide written proof to the town board if they're speaking on behalf of a group, and also explain how the group developed positions presented, and they're supposed to do this all within 3 minutes. Petitioners for other hearings would be no longer limited to 15 minutes, the way they're supposed to be now, yet the representatives for opposition are limited to 10 minutes instead of 15 minutes. Budget hearings,
How much more time do you need?
2 more minutes.
All right, I'll make a motion to give Jane 2 more minutes. Second. All in favor?
Thank you very much. The budget public hearings currently allow the public to speak for 5 minutes. And now the public would only have 3 minutes to speak on budget hearings. I urge this board to take a serious look at these proposed changes and compare them to the current rules of orders. I'm asking you to please do not vote tonight. I know you've already agreed to consent on it, but please do not vote tonight to approve them. They represent a direct attempt to limit the information available to the public and reduce the time periods for public input, comments, and expression. These changes would be a big move backwards for the new administration. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the extra time.
No, thank you, Jane. We appreciate you coming here. The next speaker on our list is Thomas Frank. Tom, I'm always happy to see you.
Good evening, Town of Amherst board members. The town is a 54 square mile area, and I want to thank you for my 3 minutes for giving this presentation. I'm asking this board to adopt a resolution for calling for an amendment for a collaboration to the Glen Park Joint Board Charter. And that for the Village of Williamsville, Town of Amherst, Glen Park Joint Board to be the lead agency. And this was in a previous plan back in 2010, and it was never implemented. At the as we're talking about a multifaceted, long-term Town of Amherst Central Park, Ellicott Creek Greenway project, the Central Park watershed, and that this is a part of the Niagara River Greenway, the watershed Greenway, but also it's a part of the New York Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. That you have an economic factor that's tied into the environmental climate factor that affects the infrastructure, that affects the management and maintenance of the water lines, the sewer lines, and the highway storm sewers in the town. And we're looking at the resolution that I mentioned has to do with the, let's see, oh, it's the resolution 139, the vocational training contract, CRS number 6093, the Williamsville Central School District. And this is what's proposed is a 5-year, $10 million collaboration with various state agencies, as far as the county, the state, and the federal. And as far as the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, their organization is applying it. This has to do with the schools. As far as the Williamsville Central School District, that this is going to be a demonstration project for the part of the Empire State Greenway, the 1,200-mile Empire State Greenway. Last thing that I wanted to say has to do with the schools located in the state of New York, the public, private, elementary, secondary, vocational, college, and university. Okay.
I always appreciate you coming here, and I always want your opinion. I look forward to seeing you at all of our town board meetings, but your 3 minutes are up, okay? But I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, the funding's there, and this is a part of it. And when they did the relicensing of the power project, they shut it off at Niagara Falls Boulevard. And as far as the county, as far as the Westwood Pharmaceutical Country Club, that's now the Willie Dillydale. That they're part of the Ellicott Creek watershed, and it's the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
Mr. Frank, respectfully, your time is up.
I got some other
Okay,
people that gotta talk, Tom.
last time, thank you. Yeah.
But I really appreciate you being here, Tom. Thank you. So that concludes our list, but the podium is open for anybody looking to speak during public expression. Please step up and be recognized.
Stan Saliva, 166 Cranmer Lane. I'm here to support the amendment to the rules of order, but I asked the board to look at specific items specifically. I'm not sure if the procedure for contract approval is as presently implemented. And I would ask Ms. Jewell to comment on that if she can. Secondly, in relation to the consent agenda, I think you have to look at that very carefully about regarding matters not of public interest not being on the consent agenda, being on the regular agenda. Other than that, I understand Ms. Cox's issues, and I haven't been in as many meetings as she has as town attorney, but I understand what the concerns are, and I appreciate them. Thank you very much.
Stan, thank you. Hi, Don.
Don Smith, North Long. I'm here to discuss the rules of order. what Jane said is true. In fact, there's one aspect of it I even find very interesting. Let me be frank. I'm against it. I don't think you should vote on it. And if you do, you're making a huge mistake, both for the citizens and for your political futures. Okay? Think about that. Number one. Number two, when the attorney mentioned in sort of offhanded way that we could now speak with both on the agenda and for other items during the first public expression, he essentially cut in half both the first agenda from 3 minutes to 1.5, and the second one to 1.5, and then moved them into the front. So it's 100% decrease in the ability of your constituency, your residents to speak to you. It's an important thing for you to listen to us, besides the fact what you want to tell us about what you want. We are important too. It's a combination of issues here. It's a combination of people, and you have to listen to the public. If you stop listening to the public, you're going to miss some very important things. Frankly, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes if you miss something really big. And I think you should think about it very strongly. And I endorse what she said. Don't vote on it tonight. Let it go back. I did an analysis of the rules of order on a piece of software that does a comparison. And the changes are extensive. Okay? When you do an extensive change, you don't do a simple vote yes or no. You do a bigger analysis and you ask for more people's input. It's a big mistake not to do that. So good luck with this. I hope you do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Anybody else wishing to speak this evening at public expression? Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion to close public expression. All in favor? Aye. Which moves us into our consent agenda. I will ask the town clerk to read the consent agenda.
Councilmember Zucala, 1, 2, 3. Councilmember Davis, 1. Town Attorney, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Town Clerk, 1, 2. Assessor, 1, 2. Building Maintenance, 1, 2. Controller, 1. Contract Compliance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Court, 1. Human Resources, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Information Technology, 1. Planning, 1. Police, 1 was withdrawn, and then there was 2. Senior Services, 1, 2, 3. Sewer Plant, 16, 1. Youth and Recreation, 1, 2. Communications, 1 was consent, 2 referred to attorney, 3 referred to attorney, 4 referred to attorney. Public improvement permits, 1 was consent and 2 was consent. Thank you.
Okay, make a motion to approve the consent agenda as it appears. All in favor? Aye. We are now moving on to Resolution 2026-108, which highway vehicles and equipment. It's a bond resolution. I'll make a motion for Resolution 2026-108. With that, I'll ask the town clerk for a voice vote.
Supervisor Lavin?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Marinucci? Councilmember Zucala?
Yes.
Councilmember Davis? Councilmember Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Okay. So that takes us to our second round of public expression. I'll make a motion to open the second round of public expression. Hold on 1 second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, anybody wishing to speak? The podium is yours.
Thank you. I didn't mention in the Amherst State Park, the boiler facility, which it used to be a part of the nuns' convent, but they closed it down, and it's been vacant for like 20 years. And a part of this program is to for the town to develop an environmental education facility similar to the one they have in Cheektowaga, the Rhinestone Woods. And they agreed to coming here and participating with tying it into the schools as far as the greenway. So I just wanted to mention that it has long-term implementation as far as the environmental conservation of your carbon footprint on a per capita basis, as far as getting away from your cell phone and the internet. As far as social, that's the Greenway. And in New York City, they have the five-borough bike ride. It's they shut it off at 32,000 bike riders every year for about the past 20 years. That the Greenway, the $450 million that have been allocated to Erie and Niagara County to mitigate the cumulative negative impact of the water project on the watershed. And you're seeing it here with, as far as the water lines, the sewer lines, as far as all the cracks and things. It's a part of the hydrogeographic topography of where you're sitting. Thank you.
Tom, thank you very much. Anybody else?
Good evening, town board members. My name is Don Smith North Long. The first public expression came about to concentrate on orders of the agenda. And then somebody said, well, what if we have something that's not on the agenda? Where do we speak at it? That's where the second public agenda came from, when we split them up for your benefit. So you knew the first public agenda was, first public expression was for the agenda. The second one was for anything else. When you crash the two together, you create a little more chaos. You separate them out, you have less, you have more control. So when you do away with it, normally under normal circumstances, people who want to talk on the first one, talk on the first one. People want to talk on the second one, talk on the second one. They just generally don't butt heads, and you don't get that much more time used up. It doesn't really hurt you that much for somebody to talk on the second one. It doesn't happen all that often. In fact, if you go back, you'll find that second public expressions are very often non-attended. So you don't need to fix something that isn't broken, okay? Number one, okay? Number two, I'm a 35-year air show photographer. I've been doing it for 35 years. I've taken literally maybe 100 air shows, and I've shot the air show in Niagara Falls for years and years and years. I'm a member of the National Warplane Museum group, and I recommend going to these air shows. They're always very interesting. I brought my daughters to them, and now my daughter is working for a defense contractor. So thank you very much for listening.
Anybody else wishing to speak this evening during our second round of a public expression?
Good evening, town board. Dan Delano, village resident, former mayor of Village of Williamsville and trustee. I just figured I'd chime in and come here and congratulate you for your new positions, Supervisor Lavin, Councilmember Davis, Councilmember Kavanaugh, and your new position, Deputy Supervisor, correct, Marinucci. It's a thankless job. I can attest to that. And I thank you all for doing what you're doing. It's quite humbling to sit in a position like this and having taken an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, defend the Constitution of the state, and defend the laws of the town, the code of the town. It's a big job, bigger than most people realize. So all I want to do is say thank you and congratulations and good luck with your term.
Thanks, Mayor. Anybody else wishing to speak during the second round of public expression? Anybody else? Okay, with that, I'll make a motion to close the second round of public expression.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I did want to say a few things to Jane, because I did appreciate your comments about the rules of order, and they are not going unnoticed. But I will say to you, this is not something that can't, this is a living document, so to speak. It can be adjusted, it can be changed. I can say that the board collectively worked really hard with our town attorney to find rules that were maybe a little more caught up to the world that we're living in. A lot of these rules, a lot of the agenda we've noticed came from the late 80s, not to say it wasn't adjusted, but that was well before even email, YouTube, online benefits that we currently see. So the communication piece back and forth via public expression is important, but anybody at this dais has an email address. They correspond regularly with residents regarding their concerns. So as much as the limiting of a public expression is a concern, the world we live in allows for communication to happen much more timely than it maybe did decades ago. With regards to the adjustment to some of the evening 3 p.m., 4 p.m. meetings you referred to, over the course of my time as the town board member and deputy supervisor, I had several residents tell me they were looking for more variety. Either 7 p.m. didn't work for them. This was an opportunity for this board to kind of split in half evening and afternoon meetings. People could be available in the afternoon, but not the evenings, and vice versa. So by allowing this and adding an afternoon meeting into the agenda more for this year, it allows for better communication with residents and more an opportunity for residents to participate in this body's decision-making. So I don't want you to think that what you said is ignored. We are always willing and able to adjust this to make it better for this board and its residents. That's our job. We would encourage to do that again in a year from now during our reorg meeting. I'm happy to have further discussion with you or anybody. With that being said, I am going to make did anybody else from here have any other comments?
I just have one thing, because I want to give the town attorney a lot of credit for the amount of time that went into the rules updates. I will say, Mr. Smith, you mentioned that some of them were extensive, and I will likely take responsibility for that. One of the things that was important to me was updates to language in terms of gendering of the language and the way that the language was written. And so I did take a pretty fine-tooth comb, and I took a lot of Attorney Bengart's time to update throughout the whole document some of those things. So you're going to see a lot of track changes and differences in those things. I agree with the supervisor. I thank the town attorney's office for their amount of time on this, but I also see it as a step forward. And if it's not something that works, then we will go back and continue to work on it to make sure that it works for everyone involved. So I do want to say that it's likely my fault. I know I drove Steve crazy. We've worked on it for a while, but thank you very much.
Okay, we do have one suspension item this evening. So I'll make a motion to move from regular agenda into suspension.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor, I'd like to move into the adopt the following resolution for appointment of a signatory, whereas the supervisor has signing authority to execute documents on behalf of the town of Amherst when authorized by the town board. And whereas the supervisor appointed a deputy supervisor to act as a signatory in his absence in such circumstance. And whereas the supervisor and deputy supervisor will not be available the week of February 16th, 2026. Therefore, the town supervisor must appoint an individual as a signatory in his absence and the deputy supervisor's absence. So therefore, be it resolved that the supervisor appoints and designates Councilmember Jack Kavanaugh as a signatory for any documents or other items that require immediate signature during their absence from February 17th, 2026 through and including February 20th, 26.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll make a motion to return to our regular agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to adjourn tonight's town board meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.